So, dear children, welcome to this English teleteaching program prepared by Urschak. This is EduSat English teaching program. Dear children, you know, in the last two sessions, we discussed the very beautiful and humorous story, that is A Letter to God by G. L. Fuentes. The story is itself very humorous, and also it moves around a particular character. The character is Lencho, a poor and innocent farmer. So, we have completed, and I hope you have understood the text. Let us recollect what we discussed in the last two sessions, in the last two parts, when we discussed the first part in the first session and the second part in the second session. Let us go to recap. Let us go to have a recap of this, recapitulation of this, and we can again recollect what we have discussed. So, students, you see part 1, we have discussed the first part of the story. Lencho, as you know, a poor farmer. He was living happily with his wife and children in his house on the top of a hill, and he cultivated a cornfield which was full of flowers, showing the sign of good harvest. We have also discussed the flowers promised a very good harvest of that year, but it did not rain. There was want of rain, and Lencho needed water very urgently. So, Lencho's weariness for his cornfield raised, and he hoped for rain, he expected rain, and to his hope, to his expectation, it started to rain, rain began, and Lencho also felt very much happy. So, this is the first SCP of first part. I have already told you the text has been divided into two parts, and each part has been divided into two SCPs. So, this is SCP 1. Then we also discussed in part 1 SCP 2, sense group paragraph 2, from paragraph 3 to 7. Lencho's happiness gradually increased when it started to rain, and he looked at the big raindrops which looked like 5 or 10 cent pieces. So, he regarded to his cornfield, he worshipped his cornfield, he folded his hands and saluted his cornfield. But what happened? Suddenly, the strong wind started to blow, heavy rain with hailstones started, and the entire cornfield was damaged, was destroyed by the hailstorm. So, Lencho's happiness disappeared. He became very helpless, but he had only one hope, single hope, and that is the help from God. So, the innocent farmer, the helpless, the poor farmer who had a deep faith in God, wrote a letter to God. This is about the second SCP of part 1. Let us see, let us have a recap of the second part, what we discussed. In the second part, we have 3 letters, 2 letters from Lencho to God, 1 letter from God to Lencho, we discussed. So, Lencho in his first letter requested God to send 100 pesos for living and sowing his field again, and he went to the town, dropped the letter in the mailbox. The postman showed the letter to the postmaster, and the kind hearted, the honest postmaster was first he started laughing. He was very serious then, he became very serious, and he wanted not to break Lencho's faith, he wanted to do something so that Lencho will feel that there is God. So, he decided to send a reply, collected a little more than half of the money and sent through the postman, and he was so satisfied for his work that he was very much eager to know the feeling of the man, how the farmer would feel at the time of receiving the letter which was sent in the signature of God. The last part, Lencho was not surprised to get the letter with money, because he had a lot of confidence, he had strong faith that God must have sent this, and he counted the money. He became very much angry and he suspected the postal employees. He thought perhaps these employees, they might have taken away 30 pesos out of 100 pesos. So, Lencho decided to write another letter to God, and he started writing angrily. He requested to send the rest amount directly, not through the postal employees, because they are dishonest people. And the postmaster was very much eager, was very much interested to see the happiness, the reaction of the farmer. Actually read the letter and he became unhappy. He thought that Lencho perhaps he did not understand where the money was collected and how he received the letter with the money, right. So, let us have a very brief summary of all these 4 parts, and you can remember easily for your examination. You see, this is the brief summary what we have discussed in the story, the humorous, the interesting story by G. L. Fuentes. The summary of the story, A Letter to God. Part 2 you see on the screen. SCP-1, Part 1, SCP-1 and 2, Part 2, SCP-3 and 4. So, SCP-1, Lencho's happy life in his house with his children on the top of the hill, and SCP-2, heavy rain with hailstone destroyed the cornfield completely, and lastly, Lencho's hope for God's help, only hope from God. And part 2, SCP-3, Lencho's letters to God, first letter for 100 pesos, and God's reply through the postmaster, through the postman with 70 pesos, and the last SCP-4, Lencho's second letter for rest 30 pesos, right. So, my dear children, I think you have very clearly understood the story and you have also enjoyed the story, but you have to write answers to the questions in your examinations. Let us go to the exercises, to the activities which have been given in the text exercise, and we will discuss the questions first to understand the text better and to prepare ourselves for the examinations, pre-test, test and final examinations. Let us go to the textual questions or the exercise which has been given in the text. So, first, again this is a very good activity, activity 1. This activity can help you again to remember, to recollect, to remind the things that we have discussed. There are 8 letters which are not in order, and if you arrange them in order, then you can get the summary, the brief summary of the story, right. So, let us arrange. So, number 1, heavy rain with hailstones destroyed the cornfield. Number 2, he wrote a letter requesting God to send 100 pesos. Number 3, Lencho lived in a house on the top of a low hill. Number 4, Lencho got angry when he counted the money. Number 5, the postman read the address and gave the letter to the postmaster. Number 6, Lencho hoped that God could help him. Number 7, the postmaster sent a reply with 70 pesos to Lencho. Number 8, Lencho wrote the second letter to send the rest money directly to him. Let us arrange the sentences to get the summary, right. So, out of these 8 sentences A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, let us arrange and get the summary. So, which one will be number 1? You see, the C sentence will be number 1 in the summary, right. Lencho lived in a house on the top of a low hill happily, right. Then which one will be number 2? Heavy rain with hailstones destroyed the cornfield, right. So, this is order. So, first Lencho lived in a house, then rain with hailstones destroyed the cornfield. Then number 3, he wrote a letter when the cornfield was destroyed. He wrote a letter requesting God to send 100 pesos, right. Then number 4, Lencho hoped that God could help him. He expected that God could help him. So, number 5 is the postman read the address and gave the letter to the postmaster. Number 6, the postmaster sent a reply with 70 pesos to Lencho. Next one, Lencho got angry when he counted the money, right. And the last sentence, Lencho wrote the second letter to send the rest money directly to him. So, dear children, we recollected the story, all the 2 parts, the 4 SCPs, and then we also discussed the summary in a diagram. Then we also discussed this summary in this passage having 8 sentences, right. So, let us go to some questions. Okay, we have one vocabulary activity. After this vocabulary activity, we will go to that. So, this is one vocabulary activity. To develop your stock of vocabulary, we have 2 columns A and B. Under A, you see there are 8 words: downpour, intimately, crest, approaching, resemble, locust, daybreak, amiable, right. And under B, you can find the meanings of those words: top, just before sunrise, to look like, closely, large insects, friendly, heavy rainfall, coming near. So, let us arrange. Downpour means downpour, heavy rainfall, the 7 number was, right. Intimately, that is closely, then crest, that is top, approaching, coming near, resemble, to look like, एका भली देखा जिबा. As we say, the son resembles his father. पुओटी ता बापा भली देखा जाउछि, right. Resemble, to look like. Locust, large insects, बड़ बड़ पोको सब जो फसल नष्ट कर दियंती. Daybreak, just before sunrise. And number 8, amiable, friendly, very friendly or amicable person. So, I think these are some of the new words which we have discussed at the time of discussing the story, reading the story, and I think these words will definitely help you to develop your vocabulary stock, right. So, let us go to the questions, right. Okay. You just see, I have matched before going to the questions, you matched all these things: downpour, heavy rainfall, intimately, closely, crest, top, approaching, coming near, resemble, to look like, locusts, large insects, daybreak, just before sunrise, amiable, friendly, right. I think these words will definitely help you to do the exercises which are there in the textbook, and we will discuss the exercises. So, dear children, we discussed the meaning of words, and this is an activity which can help you to use the new words in sentences, and you can also use these sentences in your real life, right. So, again we have 8 sentences. We have to use those words in sentences, right. So, number 1 sentence: Lencho lived in a house on the dash of a low hill. The answer is Lencho lived in a house on the crest of a low hill. He knew his fields intimately, very closely. He expected a heavy rain, or he expected a downpour or a shower. Number 4, the Lencho could see huge mountains of clouds. approaching, coming near to him, and the hailstones looked new silver coins, right. So, number 6, the dash would have left some crop. I have already discussed. The hailstorm destroyed the cornfield completely, but the locust Lencho thought that the locusts, the large insects, would have left some crop, right. Number 7, Lencho wrote the first letter at dash, at which time? At daybreak, right. And the last one, the postmaster was an dash person, was an amiable person, right. Okay. Let us see the answers, right. You just see once again. Lencho lived in a house on the crest of a low hill. He knew his fields intimately. He expected a downpour or a shower. Lencho could see huge mountains of clouds approaching. The hailstones resembled new silver coins. The locusts would have left some crop. The Lencho wrote the first letter at daybreak. The postmaster was an amiable person. Let us go to the next one. So, this is the text exercise E, you can find in your textbook. Let us understand the text. First question, number 1 question, where did Lencho live? Lencho lived in a house on the top of a low hill. What did he hope for? The answer is at least a shower or a downpour. Number 3, what did he say about the raindrops? He said that the raindrops, big drops, are like 5-cent pieces and the small ones like 5s. So, the big drops are 10-cent pieces and the small ones are 5s. What did the rain change into? The rain changed into large hailstones, right. So, next question, what happened to Lencho's cornfield? Destroyed completely and there were no flowers. Who did Lencho have faith in? Lencho had faith in only in God. And number 7, who did he write a letter to? He wrote a letter to God. And who read the letter? The postmaster read the letter, right. Next one, what did the postmaster do? The postmaster collected money and sent it to Lencho. Was Lencho surprised to find the letter for him with money in it? Why not? No, because Lencho did not surprise, she was not surprised, right, because he had strong faith in God, right. What was Lencho's reaction after getting the letter? After getting the letter, he became angry when he counted the money, right. So, my dear students, I would just like to say one thing. In your examinations, after understanding the text, when you will take your examinations, you will get such type of questions and your questions require at least one word or one phrase or one sentence type answer, right. You should not write 2 or 3 sentences, because you know that from this session, from this examination HSC examination onwards, you can get this type of questions from prose text. From prose text you will get 5 marks, 5 very objective type of marks, and the answers will be in one word or one phrase or in one sentence. And you can also get one question carrying 5 marks, and we will also discuss today at the end, when we will discuss the writing part, we will discuss how to write answers to the questions carrying 5 marks, right. So, let us go to the next exercise, that is, let us read between the lines. We can get some questions, and in those questions we can also understand the text better, I think, right. So, question 1, why did Lencho keep on looking the sky throughout the morning? Because he hoped for rain, expected rain. That is why he was looking at the sky throughout the morning. Why was the field white after the storm? The field was white after the storm because it was covered with hailstones. So, you have to write like this in your examination to your questions, right? Only one word or a phrase or a sentence. Then next question, why did Lencho say the raindrops were like new coins? Because the big raindrops started to rain. The raindrops were very big, right. So, again we will go to the next parts. Let us read between the lines the next question. Why did Lencho prefer locust to storm? Lencho preferred locust to rain because locusts would have left more than the storm. I have already told you, my dear students, the storm, the hailstorm completely destroyed the cornfield, but he thought if there was a disease by the large insects, then the large insects would have left at least some of the crops, right. Next, did Lencho try to find out who had sent the money to him? Why? Why not? No, he did not try because he was very sure that there is God and God must send him money. So, strong faith in God. Then, why did Lencho say the raindrops were like new coins? Big drops started to rain like 5 or 10 cent pieces, right. So, dear students, we discussed all these questions. I think you can answer all these questions because most of the questions will come from all these questions that we discussed here, right. Before going to do the next activity, I would just like to request all of you, you please read the text and you can also design questions on your own, very small questions from all the paragraphs like this, and you can prepare yourselves for your examination, right. So, we will go to the next question. So, students, you have one exercise to learn some new words. We have discussed the words which are there in the textbook, right. But now we are going to know some new words which are like the words which are given in the textbook. So, some new words out of our textbook, out of our story, right. And you can also see that G, that is given as G, let us learn some new words, right. So, in those words like hailstones, when we say hailstones, we get two things, right. Small balls of rice that fall like rain. So, hailstones means there are small balls like ice and that fall like rain, that is hailstone. And when the hailstone starts with heavy wind or heavy wind blows with rain along with hailstones, that becomes hailstorm. So, like hailstorm, we have different types of words we use for storms, right. So, we have gale, whirlwind, cyclone, hurricane, tornado and typhoon. So, let us see these 4 words how we can use in our real life. So, you see number 1, a violent tropical storm, right, in which strong winds move in circle. A violent storm in which strong wind moves in a circle, and that is what we say cyclone, right. So, that cyclone, you see, you can get the answer. We have just one, we have 6 blanks. and the third one is C. So, you have to match the word in which out of the given words in which the third letter is C. So, you see the answer, that is cyclone, CYCLONE, right, cyclone, right. And the second one, that is an extremely strong wind. So, cyclone is usually used in our place in India, in Asian countries, right. Then an extremely strong wind, that is gale. Gale, that is also one type of storm, and usually that takes place in America and some western countries. A violent tropical storm with very strong winds, right, that is typhoon, and especially this typhoon happens in China and Japan, right. Next one, the last one, that is a violent storm with strong winds, especially in the western Atlantic Ocean, and that is what we say tornado, TORNADO. So, my dear students, you have some clues which have been given in the exercise. So, there are some blanks and you will have to find out the word out of the list, because in the list we have 6 words, and out of those 6 words you can find out the word matching the letter number. Suppose in case of 1, the third letter is C. So, you have to find that word out in which the third letter is C, and that is a very interesting activity, and by doing that activity you can also develop your vocabulary, right. Let us go to the next activity, and this is let us learn language, right. And here we can go to some sentences. Suppose there are some sentences in the textbook, we can find throughout the morning Lencho, who knew his fields intimately, looked at the sky. Let me write the sentence on the blackboard, right, and so that you can easily understand all these things. So, there is a sentence in your textbook in paragraph 1, right, and the sentence is throughout the morning Lencho, who knew his fields intimately, looked at the sky. So, throughout the morning you see Lencho looked at the sky. If you connect this, the first part, the underlined part with this underlined part, the sentence is throughout the morning Lencho looked at the sky, and the second part is who knew his fields intimately. This part, right, you just see, I have underlined this part of drawing 2 lines. So, who knew his fields intimately, this is an additional information, this is one type of or extra information about Lencho, right. So, this type of sentences or this middle part beginning with a pronoun, relative pronoun WHO, this is called a relative clause, and this clause is an additional part, that is why this clause is called non-identifying relative clause. This is non-identifying relative clause, right. So, we write, sometimes we put hyphens, and in the present grammar usually we use commas. This part can be enclosed by putting 2 commas. So, we can put a comma here, we can put a comma here, and we can put a comma here. So, when we write non-identifying relative clauses, because this part does not help to identify Lencho. Lencho is a name, a particular name, personal name. So, there is no question of giving any identity or any identification. That is why this is called non-identifying relative clause or non-defining relative clause. Right. So, we have a very good exercise, and we can do this exercise so that we can also write good English at the time of writing any answer or letter or an essay, right. So, my dear students, we have 5 to 6 questions, we have some pair of questions, and we can join these questions together to get one sentence. So, we can join 2 sentences and we can get one sentence like this. So, we have also one sentence, another sentence in the textbook in this story, right. The house, the only one in the entire valley, the beginning sentence. That means, the house which was the only one in the entire valley sat. You just see, the house which was the only one in the entire valley sat on the crest of a low hill. That is also there is a relative clause, but the relative clause is hidden. The writer does not write the relative pronoun here, and we have a very good exercise, some questions, and we can also solve those questions after this. So, let us go to the questions. So, dear students, you see, let us learn language A. The exercise is join the pair of sentences given below using a relative pronoun. So, number 1, my mother is going to host a TV show on cooking. She cooks very well. So, these are 2 sentences. Now, I will give you the technique how you can join these 2 sentences, so that you can get the sentence with a non-defining relative clause. And my request to all of you, you please listen very carefully, so that definitely you can get one question. In all the examination, at least one question comes from this exercise. So, this is very important, that is why I will put it on the blackboard. I will give you the technique, the steps how you could be you could answer the question very easily. So, the first pair of sentence is my mother is, this is I, my mother is going to host a TV show on cooking. Right. The second sentence is she cooks very well. So, dear students, when you are going to join these 2 sentences and you will get one sentence with a relative clause, the first step, step 1 is find out the same noun phrase which has been used in both the sentences. Step 1, right. So, find the noun phrase, same noun phrase. Same noun phrase, you know noun phrase because it has been taught in class 9, right. So, same noun phrase, you see my mother, and in the second sentence she. So, my mother and she, these are same, right. So, find the same thing. Then select step number 2, select a pronoun for the second noun phrase. Select a relative pronoun. Right. Relative pronoun means, see, for the seconds here we have to write which or what or when, like this, when, which, what, these are all relative pronouns. So, for a person we can say who, right. Number 3, bring this, right, or bring this just after the first noun phrase and put a comma. Suppose my mother, just you see, my mother, you bring the relative pronoun. Suppose the relative pronoun is here who, so you bring who to this place, who, right, and put a comma here. I have already told you, when we write non-defining relative clauses, we have to put commas. So, my mother who cooks very well, the sentence will go to this, and again you have to put a comma, and then it's going to host a TV show. Let me write the full sentence. This is the very easiest technique to join the sentences. So, what will happen? My mother, right, my mother who cooks very well. You please don't forget to give a comma. If you don't give a comma, then this, because my mother, this is, there is no identification for my mother. My mother is itself identified, right. So, you have to put a comma here. So, my mother, my father, my teacher, my headmaster, the prime minister, any name, if you write here, then you must have to give a comma when you are going to write a relative clause, or what we say, an adjective clause. So, my mother who cooks very well, this sentence, who cooks very well, right, again another comma. So, 2 commas, this part here 1 comma, and this part should be enclosed by 2 commas. Again you start from this place, is going to host a TV show on cooking, right. So, my dear students, I think you understand how to combine the pair of sentences into one, making one as relative clause. Let us go to other sentences. We will see how you can join and you can get the answer. So, look at number 1 answer. My mother who cooks very well is going to host a TV show on cooking. The second question is, our institution is highly popular. It works for public welfare. So, exactly the answer is our institution. So, for institution we can use relative pronoun which, for person we can use who, for a thing we can use which, right. So, our institution which works for public welfare, comma, is highly popular. Question number 3, Satish scored a goal in the last minute. He was fortunate. And you see, Satish and he, these are same thing. That is why the answer will be like this, Satish, comma, because there is a name, that is a name. Satish is a name, that is a naming word, and for naming words, when we write naming words or names, we should give a comma, and the relative clause or the adjective clause here is non-identifying relative clause. So, Satish, who was fortunate, comma, scored a goal in the last minute. Then question number IV, Mother Teresa is revered as a saint. She served mankind. So, she and Mother Teresa both are same. So, Mother Teresa who served mankind is revered as a saint. Next one, I often go to Mumbai. Mumbai is the commercial capital of India. So, I often go to Mumbai, which is the commercial capital of India. So, my dear students, this is all about your language work. Let us go to the writing part. Writing activity, you just see the Lentzos letter has been given here, right. read Lencho's letter first and given in the box and mark the underlined words. So, my dear students, when we write letters, we should also know some important aspects, some important points. You just see, dear God, he writes, dear God, you do not help me, if you do not help me, my family and I will go hungry this year. I need 100 pesos in order to sow my field again and to live until the crop comes, because the hailstorm destroyed my cornfield completely. Lencho. So, first you see dear God and at the end Lencho, but he writes three things, three important things. Number one, my family and I will go hungry this year because the storm has damaged the cornfield. I need 100 pesos, two things. I have already discussed all these things. The third thing, to sow my field and to live for the whole year, I need 100 pesos. The request is, kindly or please send me 100 pesos, right. So, look at the green points written below. His problems, hailstone destroyed the cornfield, no food to eat, no seed to sow. His request is to help him by sending 100 pesos. By following this letter, we can also, my dear children, if you follow this letter, you can also write some other letters like this. Let us go to another letter, so that you can also get the ideas how to write a very good letter to your nearest and dearest, right. So, you just see, this is the question. Imagine that you can get this type of question in your HS examination and in your test and pre-test examination. Imagine that you are Ashutosh from Oroga, Nayagarh district, staying in school hostel. You need a dictionary to improve your English. Write a letter requesting your father to send 500 rupees to buy a good English dictionary, right. So, you see, most of the time we can find the answers in the question. The question gives itself some the answers to the to write a letter. Let us go to how to write this. You just see the blank, place date, dear, you can write, dear father, I could not score good marks, right, in English, last year in English in class 9. I need a good dictionary, right, to buy, or to improve my English, because there is to improve your English. I want to buy a learners or an Oxford Learners English dictionary. I need 500 rupees, kindly send me soon. This is a mini letter, right, your loving son, and at the end you can put the name. You just see how the letter is written. Oroga, 22 May 2020. Dear father, I could not score good marks in English in class 9. So, I could not good marks. This is my problem, right, in class 9. I need, so what is your need? I need a good dictionary to improve my English. I want to buy an Oxford Learners Dictionary and I need 500 rupees to buy it. So, your problem, then your need, then your request, send, kindly send the money to me by post soon. Your loving son Ashutosh, right. Let us go to another question. You look at, this is a very interesting question I have designed. Imagine that you are the postmaster, you have already we have discussed the story. Imagine that nije tome bhabo je tome hocho postmaster. You read Lencho's letter, second letter, write a letter to Lencho and make things very clear, so that he can understand the situation and realize his fault. So, my dear students, you see, Lencho has written to God to send 30 pesos, the rest amount, to him directly, because he has written that the postal employees, they are a bunch of, they are a group of dishonest persons, criminals, thieves, like that, right. So, there are some blanks, you can write this, dear dash. What you should write? Dear dash, I wrote the letter to you, not dash, I also dash not God. एठी देखो पिले, एठी पोस्टमास्टर से चिठीटा लेंचोर देखिला जेतेबेले लेंचो लेखिछि पोस्टाल लोक माने होउछन्ती चोर, असाधु, तमें मत सीधा टंका दियो ताकू खराब लगी पोस्टमास्टर भावी मु गोटे चिठी लिखी लेंचु को सी आटलिस्ट जानिम तेणु स्टोरीटा तो ये ना तेणु स्टोरी यहाँ को आड कर राइट लेट अस गो टू दी लेटर हाउ इट कैन बी रिटन you see dear Lencho I wrote the letter to you not to break your faith in God I also sent the money not God it is good to have faith in God but it is not good to support the suspect kind and honest people out of too much faith in God God lives in man and kind hearted people come forward to help the helpless and suffering people yours lovingly the postmaster. The postmaster writes that actually God has not sent the money, I have sent, you should realize this. Now, so my dear students, we finished the text and you can get some questions for 5 marks like this. Why did Lencho regard the field of ripe corn with flowers? How was Lencho's crop destroyed? What happened to Lencho's cornfield after the hailstorm? Describe Lencho briefly, right? And why did Lencho write the first letter to God? What faith? I had the faith of the man who wrote this letter to God. Who said this? What did he do not to shake Lencho's faith in God? Describe the postman. How did he write the second letter? All these types of questions may come in your examination and you should prepare yourself writing the answers to these questions. You collect the questions from the from different sources, the old questions for the last 4 to 5 years because this topic has been introducing or we have been teaching this topic this text particular story for the last 5 to 6 years. So, you can collect the questions and you can prepare yourselves. I think you will be able to write the answers to all these questions and you can score better. The time is over now and go and do all the exercises as your homework. Thank you.